Hey, Dame. First question is coming from Dwight James with NBC Sports Northwest.
Dame, are you hurt? What happened during that game? We saw you stretching. We saw you kind of messing with one of your legs. You pull something or hyperextend or something?
I mean, at the beginning of every season, I always like have a little bit of issues and soreness with like my psoas, like not my groin, but right above it, the muscle that attaches my pelvic bone to my abs. Um, and first quarter, I kind of exploded, got around somebody, and he bumped me, and I kind of caught my balance, and I jumped to lay the ball in, and I think I just overextended, so it was just irritated, from the first quarter on.
Well, you certainly had to play a long time after that with that going on. Did it ease up a little while, or did it stay that way the whole game?
I mean, it was pretty much the same the whole time. I was just, on the sideline doing stretches and riding the bike to try to keep it as loose as possible. If I just sat in my seat, I think it would have tightened up, maybe a little bit too much. I wasn't going to sit out or nothing, so I just tried to do whatever I could to keep it loose, so I could be ready to go back in the game and still be able to, perform.
The next question is coming from Casey Holdall with Trailblazers.com.
Damian, just your general thoughts on how the game went, particularly building the lead and then losing the lead and then coming back in the second half and then pushing through the overtime. Just your thoughts on your guys' performance overall and how you thought you guys looked after a 4-month layoff.
I thought we all knew coming in it was going to be a battle. They're a really high energy young team. They play fast, they play hard. We knew what we had coming in, and once we built up a lead, our message was let's stay sharp and try to extend the lead. But we said that knowing that it's a game of runs, and at some point they're gonna make a run, and they did that and took the lead. And I think we just, stayed the course. We let our experience take over down the stretch, and we just kept trusting each other. Nobody tried to take it upon themselves. We kept the ball moving. We talked it out on defense. We talked it out in our huddles, and we kept our minds in it. And once it came down to it, I think we showed that we was the team that wanted it more.
Next question is coming from AJ McCord with Coin.
Hey, Dame. Thanks so much for doing this. Congratulations on the win. My first question for you, Nurk just told us that his grandmother has contracted COVID-19 and that the last few days have just been really hard for him. Despite all that, he came out in a return that he's been waiting 16 months for and had quite a game. Can you just talk about what you've seen from him, both off the court and how he's handled that really difficult news, and then on the court to how he used it to play today?
I mean, he's been that weight has been on his shoulders. Me and him talked about it a few times. Just him expressing, what he had been going through. And, he's one of my closest friends, so of course I was there for him, and we had that conversation. And the fact that he's been able to still show up and get his work done and be present at practice and come out and have the kind of game that he had tonight, I think that just shows how much it means to him, with everything he has going on with his family at home. And then him being here in the bubble and not have played in 16 months, and he still came out here and had this type of performance and was able to keep his mind with the team despite everything that's kind of weighing him down. I think that made his performance more impressive.
And for you, when you saw him make that first bucket, the first NBA bucket he's had in 16 months, what did you feel for him?
I mean, I was excited to see him in our huddle before we went to warm up. Once he made the bucket, I didn't think nothing of it, honestly. I told him welcome back before the game, and that was that. One bucket didn't go win us a game, and it wasn't his first career bucket, so it's good to see him back. But that was it.
Thank you.
Next question is coming from Royce Young with ESPN.com.
Hey, Dame, I wanted to ask you, at least through the television, it looked like that game carried your standard NBA intensity. A couple technicals called during it. Did it feel that way to you? Did it have that same type of traditional intensity that a normal game would?
I mean, I felt like it worked its way to that point. I mean, it got competitive. We had some back and forth. And, both teams got a lot on the line, especially with us playing against each other to start. And, you know, it's going to be emotions. Guys going to be passionate about, you know, what we're doing out there. I think that was it. But I think because there's no fans and there's not a lot of noise, that's going to distract the referees from what's right in front of them. You know, the whistle was a little bit more hot. You know, they didn't give as much leash, you know, when guys were celebrating or maybe say a word or two to somebody, it was like quick, you know. You saw texts, you know, left and right. But maybe that's a way they're coming out to try to control the action or control the back and forth. But hopefully, it eases up.
Last question is coming from Mark Medina with USA Today.
Two-parter here. Obviously, you've been such an important player for this team for a while, but but there's a lot of moving parts this season with the injury and Melo. So, given that, like, how would you evolve your leadership style or keep it the same through all these different circumstances?
I mean, I just maintain who I am. You know, I don't try to step outside that and say, all right, we got this guy now. You know, I may have to adjust my style and what I'm doing on the court, you know, to accommodate Melo or accommodate Nurk being back or Zach being back. But the standard and my style of leadership and my presence is going to be the same regardless of who's around. So, I mean, I haven't had to change anything.
Yeah. And Terry was mentioning that regardless of whatever circumstances you see, that you're always maintaining that level of optimism that things will work out. Where does that come from, and what do you think that does ultimately?
I think that comes from my background, my upbringing, just being competitive and having true belief. You know, anything that I'm a part of, I believe it can get done, whatever needs to get done. And I think when you consistently have that type of mentality, if you're a part of a team or if you're part of a group or whatever, you know, I think if they look to you, that everybody's going to naturally take that same mentality. So that's just what it is.
All right, we're going to have to go ahead and wrap it there. Thanks, Damian.
Oh.